I'm Achak, an indigenous rescuing all Native American cultures equally. Indigenism, created by scholars like John Collier, has discovered that the Northern Europeans were genocidal terrorists. The invaders of what is now the United States and Canada unleashed ferocious wars against civilians and often practiced the scorched earth tactic against the survivors. Sadly, there was no one present to save Native Americans from a black lust which surpassed everything in its method of terror. The enemies of Native Americans destroyed everything they found. Arson, plunders, murders, and violations were their footprints. These people were so cowardly that they never targeted soldiers. Instead, they assassinated women, girls, and the elderly in these genocidal tortures that would enrage the most innocent. The Anglo-Saxons would make their names be sung before hanging and burning their victims, all while carrying the pride of having assassinated toddlers. Indigenism, spread by presidents like FDR, has uncovered that the Northern Europeans truly sullied Native Americans. The invaders of what is now the United States and Canada fundamentally excused their evils by constructing a typology to define Indians as savages. Sadly, there was no one present to save Native Americans from a black lust which reduced them to non-humans to abuse, plunder, and exclude. The profitable politics of the enemies of Native Americans manifested in the Satanic Passage to impose misery and death. It is interesting that despite all the pride and self-righteousness behind the genocide of Native Americans, now it is being hidden. Perhaps there is a reason why Protestantism has spent vast resources covering up their evil commercial enterprises against Native Americans. Let's not forget that Anglo-Saxons invented new religions every time they wanted to justify a new atrocity, such as torturing and killing pregnant Native American women. Indigenism, financed by organizations like Bureau of Indian Affairs, has proven that the Northern Europeans instituted brutal inanities. The invaders of what is now the United States and Canada imposed an unbreakable wall that crushed Native Americans for centuries. Sadly, there was no one present to save Native Americans from a black lust which propagandized discrimination using slander and alienation through censorship. Cause of the horrors they spread, the enemies of Native Americans have no right to any piece of land in the American continent. These parasites built banks that raised the land of Native Americans, which instituted theft and profitable suffering. These ingrates organized slave markets that terrified the victims with the murder of parents, turning the Native American children into vulnerable waifs, subject to scandalization. Finally, the rapacious Anglo-Saxons nurtured their children in Freemasonic lodges to lie and steal against Native Americans. Everything in this video was inspired by the historical approach of my fellow indigenists.